So I got called the asshole the other day, which isn't untrue, but I didn't think for this reason. I went in and ordered food before the closing time, but not enough before the closing time of a restaurant.
This is United A-Holes, a video cast discussing cultural topics with no filter.
Welcome back to Area 41, Aaron McKay's favorite spot on the internet. So, you guys like to go to restaurants at all? Anybody? I know you do, because I've been to them with you. I've never been to a restaurant with you. We got to make that a thing. We need to go out and do stuff outside of this room.
Absolutely. I'm down.
The A-holes try friendship.
We've been trying.
Doing it wrong.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
It's not a happening.
Help us.
So, Ryan, what are we doing here, man? What do you tell us your story?
I'm trying to find out what's socially acceptable when it comes to restaurants to go in and order food and eat when the closing time is, let's say, 8 o'clock. How close to 8 o'clock are you allowed to go in and eat?
Go in and sit down and eat?
Sit down. Well, either way, sit down and eat or order out. What's the difference?
I think there is a difference.
There is a difference,
Yeah.
but what is the difference?
One
Food still has to
down
be
inside
cooked.
the restaurant, the
Yeah.
other
Oh, you're
Very
fucking genius.
It's very simple, right?
So when a restaurant closes, so let's establish this first, and I think from a customer perspective, if a restaurant closes at 9 p.m., the serving time should be before 9 p.m. in the proper amount of time to allow a person to consume a meal on an average timeline, whatever that is. And I know restaurants have what they call seat time. So most restaurants aim for a certain number of that. The faster food the restaurant is, the shorter that seat time is supposed to be. Right? So let's average it to a home meal restaurant, like a truck stop type thing, and say 30 minutes is seat time on average. So we're open to 9, last serving's 8:30.
Yeah.
So do you expect the restaurant to post that? Do they post 8:30 is their closing time, knowing that people will sit until 9 to leave? Or do they post 9 o'clock and make you say, well, I better be in there at 8:30 and so I can be gone by 9? What's the socially accepted?
I think them posting a serve until 8:30 time is reasonable.
I mean, we all go to bars, or have in our past, and 2 o'clock is closing time. Last call is 1:30.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. But on the flip side, the grocery store says closes at 9. You can walk in at 8:59 and buy something, but you're out the door at 9.
I would argue that doesn't happen at Superstore in Woodstock,
Nope.
because I've gone in to get stuff at 8:50 when it closes at 9, and the doors are locked tighter than tight, and people are still circling the store to get their stuff. But they've already locked out new patrons from entering.
Yeah.
So they're forcing it themselves. Yeah.
Right.
So is it the restaurant's responsibility to post last order time?
Technically, but I think there's a level of human decency where you don't walk into a sit down diner type of place at 10 to close.
I would think if the management has done their job in training their staff, that if you're running a restaurant that closes at 9 and someone walks in at 8:50, the staff should have the empowerment politely, but to instruct, I'm sorry, our kitchen is done preparing meals. If you would like a coffee or anything out of our dessert tray.
We can still do this stuff.
We can still do this stuff, but anything out of the kitchen is now offline, basically, because there's not enough time to cook and serve it before close.
But you're going to have that guy as well. You're not closed until 9, so I want served.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Then you should probably leave and go somewhere where they are still serving.
But your
Mr.
sign says
Customer.
you are, so that's
Yeah,
false
well.
advertisement. I'm going to be an asshole right now and make a scene and force you to do what I want because I'm more important than you.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously.
I think
That's a whole other topic.
I think I can draw a conclusion here, though, as to the apathy situation that's happening with Josh and I. Is we both worked in places that served and had closing hours, potentially.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I always think on both sides of it. I remember being on the other side of the counter, so to speak, and I have that level of apathy. I know a lot of people don't, and maybe it's a ridiculous way to look at things, but I tend to always look at that from that perspective of where am I going? What are they up to? What's the conditions of
All
that?
right, but the flip side is, why aren't you expecting to stay there until 9:30?
And they are, but that includes mopping the floor, doing the tables.
Right. Okay. Well,
And the other thing is, if they are clocking their hours, they're not on a salary style pay. You can't blame them, because you know damn well that the guy running that is being so particular on costs that if there's an extra half hour tagged on to the end of that guy's shift or the whole team shift for one meal, that's a loss. You know what I mean? Like from an operating expense standpoint, the owner's going to not give a shit about the customer. They're going to care more about the fact that cost me $80 to stay open for an extra 30 minutes because some guy wanted a blah. Next time, tell him to leave.
No, I disagree with that.
That will happen. I've heard it firsthand.
Okay. Some knowledge. My dad's owned 7 restaurants in his life, and I've worked in 2 of them as a waiter. And the old adage, the staff, they came in at 10 minutes too, but you ask any owner when somebody comes in, if you're open till 9, fully agree with you, then he's fine. From an owner's perspective and my own experience in seeing them in action, the people come in, my father would have no problem saying, go, I'll look after these people. No problem.
That's if the owner's on site. I would agree.
And that attitude should be passed along to whoever's looking after your business when you're not there, without retribution, like you were talking about. Well, I don't care that he came in and wanted a meal. You've got to empower those people to run your business the way you would run it if you were there. And when you work in that industry, retail, period, whether it's food, whatever, you have to understand that there are times when someone's going to walk through the door, have 5 minutes to closing, and say,
because you're still
we just want to
open.
look around for a couple of minutes. Happens to us all the time. We go, yeah, no problem.
yeah.
It always seems to be the days that you've got something else on the go, but it's part of business, plain and simple. Would that, you'd agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it sucks. And me approaching a store that closes in 10 minutes, I won't do it because I know how much I don't like it. But I also understand it's part of my job.
And I've said many times, right? Oh, fuck, somebody just walked into the store. Yeah, what time is it? It's 8:45. Well, you're getting paid until 9, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If I can, though, we're talking about restaurants, and you guys, there isn't, as far as I'm aware, there isn't a whole lot of there isn't a lot of preparing to do, like if someone comes in to buy a computer or a TV, you don't have to make the computer or the TV. You don't have to put it in an oven. You don't have to.
No, but you might have to box it.
But I was going to say,
You
how
might have
long
to
was
leave
I at
your
the
till
store the
open
other day?
until the sale gets rung in.
Okay. Fair
If I
enough.
showed up at closing time, I would have been an asshole then too.
Exactly. You want a sectional? How big? What do you want on it for fabric? Do you want stain guard on that? When do we deliver in your area? Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesday's no good for you? Thursday. Okay, let me write that up.
That's true.
There would be.
There's processing time.
There's
in a lot of
there.
things.
Yeah, exactly. There's a
I
process.
think the difference we're looking at is I would dare say, is a chain or non-owner operated business, and I'm not even going to put restaurant on this, versus an owner operated business. So I'll put it in context. My wife runs a bake shop. We're all fully aware. I've watched her on Saturday, her last day being open of the week. Someone walks in at 10 after 5. She closes at 5. Light off, already starting to clean up. Someone walks in and says, oh no, I was supposed to be here and I should have called. I'm sorry. Is there any way that you could help me out? I just need some stuff to take to a bridal shower or a wedding party or a funeral or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, did you have something in mind? Well, you're known for your donuts. Well, I'm sorry, I'm all out of donuts. How many did you want? Well, I would take a dozen or 2 dozen. Okay, if you're willing to wait for 20 minutes, I'll have those done for you. And on comes the fryer, in goes the ingredients, the mixture comes on, and out they come as hot and fresh as they can be. And the one thing that she's told me numerous times about that is a hot, fresh donut going to an event at that time of day is the best advertising.
I was just going to say you can't
that's
buy
your
at a
choice.
time like that.
Exactly.
But again, it's owner-operator derivative.
That's right.
Not saying, and I'm not saying that she doesn't come in the house and go, oh my God, that was so annoying. But, I got to help the customer.
Yeah.
there are times where they just come in and it's like, well, I was looking for a cinnamon bun, which is like a 4-hour process to make. It's like, well, I'm open again Tuesday. I'm sorry.
You're shit out of luck.
Yeah.
I'm not staying here tonight.
Have you tried Tim Hortons? They have really nice cinnamon buns.
I've always said to many customers through the years, don't apologize for spending money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But it's
I don't know. I do wonder. So, did you have this experience recently?
Well, kind of not as drastic as I let on in the intro, but we were showing up and I had the thought, it's like, am I going to be the asshole for going in here? The posted time is 8 p.m. Does that mean I'm allowed to go in and order until 8 p.m.? Because that's the public facing time that you're giving me. That's my time. If you expect your employees to leave by 8 p.m., then it should be on the restaurant to say 7:30. Should be like whatever time they need to close should be removed from the time you expect them to be out of the store.
Right.
It's kind of like
if it's
that.
8 p.m. posted, that means 8 p.m. to me. That means I'm allowed in until 7:59.
So in the restaurant business, because I've never worked in that before, would you say a good half hour after the door close at 9, you're not out of there until 9:30? Would that be a fair
That would be
assessment?
fast.
That would be quick.
So more like an hour.
You're at minimum.
Yeah.
At minimum.
Depends on what you have to do and how many
If you
people
said
you're
to somebody
with.
as a restaurant owner, listen, we close at 9, whatever you want, I'll get it for you. But after we get it on the table, if it's okay with you, we're gonna lock the door, we're gonna mop up and whatnot. Are you okay with that?
I've had that experience.
I think most people would be like, that's fine. We're really hungry, we're traveling, whatever, or it's late.
I've been the customer in that experience before.
And that does not bother me in the least.
No.
I understand that they're
Especially if
they're
you're watching them.
accommodating me, sort of.
Especially if you're watching them properly clean equipment. It makes you feel a lot better about where
And
you
it's
are.
the same way with any business, really. It's like, can I close this still? No. Well, why not? I said, one has to be open until we actually close.
Okay.
But the same way, any restaurant worth their weight, shuts it, but leaves one grill on, leaves maybe one fryer on, right? But everything else is, shut
absolutely.
down.
There's efficiencies.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's a bonus to that where the person goes, where are we going to eat? Oh, we're going back to Bob's. I'm supporting him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay.
I think where your disconnect would come is if you go to a chain store, and I'm not calling these brands out because of an experience like that, but just as an example, like Eastside Mario's or,
any pizza place.
Pizza Hut, Pizza Delight. I mean, yes, that franchise is owned usually by somebody, but they're not usually the one there in the kitchen or behind the counter or whatever. Yeah. They're a managerial office position most of the time and looking after ordering and logistics. So when you have that kind of scenario, that's where you'll start to encounter that things, because those people are probably people aren't even clocking in and out. It's just you have a shift. It is 3 until 11.
Yeah,
at 11 o'clock, regardless of whether you're done or not, you're done being paid.
Yeah.
But if you also don't do all the things that you're required to do, you're getting shit on the other side of the coin. Yeah. It's like, well, why weren't the floors mopped? Why weren't the garbages changed? Why wasn't the dishwasher run? Why weren't all the napkin dispensers refilled, the pepper and salt shakers refilled? Why wasn't this done, that done? Well, we had an extra customer in and we had to wait on them, and then we had blah, 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 and you won't pay me past this time. So there's a disconnect. Yeah. And operators are that particular about time and hours.
Sounds like a you problem.
Based on this conversation, I think we should open up our own restaurants.
Area 41 serves food. A-holes try restaurantoring.
Rib Fest next year.
All right.
We have a booth. What are we selling?
Ooh.
Lies.
Fried assholes.
Our take on the beaver tail.
We'll just sell your wife's bakery goods.
Yeah. Take claim for it like a real asshole. We fucking made these.
They look like assholes. That's perfect.
There you go.
Chocolate dipped.
So what do you do in the operation? I'm the secret ingredient.